What is happening, everybody? How you doing today? Doing all right. Well, looks like things are finally stable enough on head coach football that I can do a little bit of play testing. Oh, turn that off real quick. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run through some pretend draft, try out all the little functions. I'm gonna take notes as we go. Hopefully nothing breaks. And we'll just kind of see what we see. I do hope I at least find a few things on the stream to fix, because that's kind of the whole point of this exercise is here, let me get the screen up for you. So the whole point of this exercise, what I like to do, why I like to do these live, is because when you're making the game, you're going so fast. You're just, creating a feature. You're trying to make it work as fast as possible, right? You're getting crashes. You're fixing it as fast as possible. And you put it in there as fast as possible and you hit run. And if it doesn't crash, you just like, okay, I got to go on to the next thing. I got like 1,000 things to do. And you try to play test. Hey, Riley's on. Hey, Riley. And you try to play test, but you just, your heart's not in it, because you're just like, let me just get on to the next thing. So what I found is the only way I can actually sit down and focus on like the small details that I really need to be looking at while I'm play testing is do it on a stream, right? It forces me to slow down, talk about what I'm thinking, and then I can focus more on the details. Now, I'll get even more focused on the details when I actually start my league, but that's a ways off. So anyway. Let me sip a little tea, and then we can get started. All right. How's this going to work? Well, started up pre-draft. So what we're going to test it right now is we're going to test me setting up my draft board, and then we're going to use that. We're going to start the draft, and I'm going to use my draft board to help me draft. And we're going to do probably all 7 rounds. I don't know if we're going to get them all done. And we're going to try a few things. We're going to trade up. We're going to try to trade down. We'll use my board. We'll just try everything, and we'll just see if anything breaks. That's the goal for today. Hopefully nothing breaks. Hopefully we find a few things that I want to change. So here we go. So the way I've set this league up is I'm obviously going to be the Vikings. Every team has had 10 random players cut from their roster, kind of simulating, contracts that expire going into the season, just so that every team has some roster holes they need to fill. That's what we're simulating there. I've got 10 players cut for my team, 10 random players. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just making holes on the roster. The rosters that you're looking at, this is the 2019 NFL rosters. The reason I chose 2019 is because I'm also using a 2020 draft file. So I like real players and real teams. It just makes it a little easier to understand what you're looking at. Makes it easier to find things that don't make sense when you kind of already know who all the players and teams are. So that's where we're starting. All right. So let's take a look at what I got. I don't know who the 10 players are that got cut. So let's take a look at my depth chart quick and see. Quick reminder, I'm using a system I came up with called the offensive and defensive systems system. Each team has a system they run. Each system has certain player packages in the system. My system has player packages that drive what my depth chart looks like. So I don't have any player packages in my system that use a fullback. That's why my fullback's empty. I don't have any player packages in my system that use 2 running backs. That's why I start only 1 running back. I do have packages that use up to 4 wide receivers. That's why I have to start 4 wide receivers. So that's kind of how this works. If I look at my depth chart over here, I can go position by position and look at my depth chart. So I obviously lost my 3rd quarterback. No big deal. I lost my starting running back. Although Murray's pretty good, but I'm thin on running back. Tight ends, I'm really thin because I have 2 wide receivers starting at tight end, which is a terrible idea. Let's actually get rid of those 2 guys. So I'm really thin on tight end. Wide receiver, let's fix my wide receiver depth chart. We'll put Diggs back in at wide receiver. Thielen, Treadwell, Alexander King. We'll put this guy back in at wide receiver too. All right. So I'm actually okay at wide receiver. Oh, I got a corner playing wide receiver. I don't love that. Let's get him out of there. All right. So I'm okay. My starting 3 out of my starting 4, okay. I could use a 4th wide receiver. And then obviously a 5th and 6th for depth. Tackle, I'm super thin. Guard, I'm pretty thin. Oh God, I got a tight end playing guard. That's not great. So I'm really thin at guard. I'm probably less than at tight end now because Rudolph was playing guard. The reason that happens is because if I look at Rudolph, I'll show you why that happens. Look at position flexibility. He actually is a pretty good guard. 72 rated at guard. So if I look at guard, he's got some pretty good blocking. I generate players. There's a lot of players that can play multiple positions just because that's kind of fun. But when you're auto depth charting, what the auto depth chart will do sometimes is play players out of position if they're too good at another position. Like Stephon Diggs was like a 97 tight end or something. Let's look at his. Yeah, he's a 97 tight end. Well, in real life, that's not true, but when I randomly generated his alternate positions, he got really good tight end. So that'll happen sometimes. It'll put the guys at the position that best overall helps the team. And sometimes that makes them play out of position. Now he's a 97 tight end for some very simple reasons. One, he's a receiving tight end. So he's obviously as a receiver, because he has tight end IQ, he's going to be an outstanding receiving receiver. But he also has a very good run blocking skill, which is what pushes him up on the tight end scale. So anyway, that's why that is. Center, I could probably use a backup center. Yeah, so I'm real thin on the line, real thin on the O-line. D-line, I look okay. D-tackle, I'm definitely okay. D-end, I'm kind of okay. Outside linebacker, I'm a little thin. Middle linebacker, I'm a little thin. Corner, I'm probably okay. I'm probably okay at corner, especially if I put Alexander back in. Yeah, I'd say I'm probably okay at corner. Free safety, I'm good. Strong safety, I'm good. All right, so going into this draft, what I really need offensive line for sure. Maybe some linebackers. And outside of that, it's really just depth. All right, so let's take some notes. I'm going to take some notes just so I don't forget. I definitely need O-line. I think I said D-end, right? Yeah, Yeah, that's okay. I kind of need linebacker. Definitely outside linebacker. And then I just need depth. Okay, so that's not horrible. That's not horrible. All right, so let's go back to the team page. Now that we kind of know what we're dealing with, let's start working on the draft board. So what the draft board is, think of this as setting up your strategy for the draft. Now, normally you would be doing this all through the season. So you do it a little bit at a time as college players, declare for the draft, maybe they improve during the season. You don't have to do it all at once. You obviously can, and you don't even have to do the draft board at all if you don't want. It's just a tool to help you. I'm going to live and die by this thing. But the intent of it is this is supposed to be where you kind of set up your strategy and you do your homework. So when draft day comes, you're not just looking at a list of 320 players that you don't know anything about, right? It's a lot of players. There's a draft timer that's going to go. It's a lot of information to go into cold. So this is intended to be a way for you to kind of prep as much as you need to prep going into the draft so that when you get to the draft, you're not ice cold. And you can kind of just create some sort of strategy. Again, it's not required. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to live and die by this thing. So I'm going to spend a decent amount of time getting this set up. Now, I don't know where I'm picking. When I do the start draft button, it's going to randomly create the draft order. So we have to kind of go into this with a little bit of hey, I don't know where my pick's going to be. So I'm just going to assume I could pick anywhere from 1 to 32. So we're just going to look at it that way. I'm going to try to focus on what's really important to me, but we're not going to overdo this. So that's how we're going to approach this. Now, let's just start at the top and let's at least get the key players scoped out. Like I said, I'm not going to overdo this, but I do want to kind of put it through its paces. So I definitely need defensive end help. It's a good reminder of what's happening here. When you're on all players, this is just literally a sortable list of everybody to kind of help you just get a feel for what the draft looks like. My rank starts off exactly the same as the league rank. That'll change as we build our draft board. I'll show you that in a second. But this is where you can kind of sort. You're not going to be able to sort when you're making your draft rankings, just because that doesn't make sense. But here you can kind of sort and do a quick cut. So one thing I might do is, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to sort by league rank because I know these are the top players. I know these are first round projected players. And I'm just going to do a rough cut and say, all right, Chase Young, I probably like him. He's probably pretty good. He's the second best player. I need a D-end. I'm gonna give him a 5-star. That's just my ranking. That doesn't do anything with the draft. That's just I use the stars to notify myself how much I like a guy. And then I'm going to give him a 1st round grade too. That's all I really do need. That's all you can really do on this screen is kind of assign grades. I'll show you what that means in a minute, but this is the first cut, right? What I could also do is I could do something like, I really want speed in this draft. So I'm going to sort by speed, and I can be like, okay, a lot of wide receivers run. Oh, here's a corner with a ton of speed. All right, let's take a look at his little short pop-up. He's a 79 in man coverage. I like to run man. He's at a 68 interceptions. That's really good. Great run defense. Great tack. God dang, this guy's awesome. You know what? If I had a 1st round pick and he were there, I would take him in the first round. I'm going to give him a first round grade. I'm actually going to get 5-star him too because I actually really like that guy. Now, the problem is his scout. I haven't scouted him very much. So, like, if I go back to his card, he's only 37% scouted, which probably means this isn't super accurate. So, it is something to keep in mind. I love how it looks. I'm a little worried that with low scouting, it's not entirely accurate, but I'm just going to assume it is because I have no way to know otherwise. So that's a different way. You could sort by potential, right? That's another thing you could do and be like, oh my God, let's sort by the best potential guys. And then you can, tag them that way. I generally at first like to start with the draft projection. So let's just start at the top and just see what we want. Now we're probably not going to draft a wide receiver in the first round. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time scouting wide receivers. If my pick comes up and there's just a guy that's too good to skip, I can still, like, not putting him on my draft board doesn't mean I can't draft him, but I'm not going to spend the time. Like, I'm not going to fill it up with wide receiver. I'm not going to fill my draft board up with guys I'm not really looking for, is the way I want to say it. So I'm not looking for a quarterback, but Joe Burrow's here. And as a quarterback, as a rookie quarterback, he looks phenomenal. So I'm actually going to give him a 4-star and a first round grading. I don't know that I would draft him if any of my needs are there, but it's Joe Burrow. Come on, man. Come on. I do need to find some offensive linemen. Now, it kind of sucks that this draft looks really weak on O-line. So that kind of sucks. Like, I don't see any O-linemen. Oh my God, this might be the worst O-lineman draft I've ever seen. The top rated offensive lineman is 40. I don't think I've ever seen one that bad before. So that's not good for our team. So, God, we need so many too. Oh man, I do need outside linebacker help. Of course, there's no outside linebackers up here either. Jennings. Let's take a look at him. 86 speed is outstanding for an outside linebacker. Good strength, good stamina. He's a blitzer more than a defender. 51% scouted, which isn't the worst. He's not bad. I'd say a good 3-star. I don't love him, but he's pretty good. I give him a late first round rating. Who's this guy? Uchi. Another blitzer. He's but he's pretty good in coverage. It's a little bit slower, a little bit stronger, a little bit. I think he's overall just a better linebacker. Late first round, I would do. What else do I need? I just need, there's not much. There's not much here. Wide receiver depth. I do need wide receiver depth. I don't know that I'd want it. I would not love to use my first pick on a wide receiver though. First pick on a corner would be okay. Like, my wide receivers are actually pretty decent. I could use a running back. I mean, Latavius Murray's he's not setting the world on fire. Let's see what we got here. J.K. Dobbins. He's an outstanding runner. Slow, but a power runner. And a receiver. He's good at catching too. He's not bad. I'll give him a first round rating. Let's look at Jalen Johnson. Man coverage. You had me at man coverage. Johnson. Let's look at Swift. Not quite as good of a runner. Break tackles, great speed, good ball security. He's pretty good. Kind of a 3-star. Tua? I wouldn't draft Tua. Henderson. What's Henderson got going for him? He's pretty good. Late first. Taylor. All right. Let's holy cow. Holy cow. Jonathan Taylor. Okada. Yep. I like that. First round. Let's start. All right. So I got plenty of first round guys on there. Let's start looking at offensive linemen because I really do need to find some offensive linemen. Holy cow. Tackles. This is embarrassing. All right. But I'm going to need to draft offensive linemen, even if it's not my first pick. Let's take a look at this guy. So a terrible blocker. I'm not, dude. Where would I even draft this guy? I don't know that I would put him anywhere on my list. Definitely not second round. If he's going in the second round, I'm not. Here's a guy that I like. Speed's not great for a tackle. Solid blocking skills. Pretty good injury resist. I actually kind of like this. I'm going to give him a second round grade. A little worried that he's not scouted that much, but let's take a look at this guy. Good pass blocker. I do like that. He's slow though. That's not great. He's a second round projection. Yeah, I guess. This guy. Good run blocker. I'm more of a pass block team, so I'm not. I'll give him a third round grade. Ooh, I like this. Andrew Thomas. I'm going to give him a second round grade. Jackson. You're going to get a third round grade. Cleveland. You're probably going to get a fourth round grade. These are horrible. I'm not even going to grade these guys. All right. So we're not going to grade the rest of them. Let's look at guards. Ruiz. Run blocker. And he can pull. I'll give you a second. Ooh, this guy's good. Wow, the speed is so bad for these guys. Maybe a second round grade. Ooh, I like this guy. I like this guy. Definitely a second. I'm actually going to star him too. This guy's got good potential. Ooh, terrible skills though. Yeah, you're going to be like a fourth. Some of these guys are just garbage. Not even going to bother. Reasons give you a fourth. Nope. No, we're not going to grade the rest. Let's look at center. Cushenberry. He's not horrible. A second or a third. 62 speed, 80 strength. Potential sucks. Maybe a third. He's going to be gone by then, but I don't know if I'd spend a second on this guy. Hennessy. Third. It feels like a third. 584. Compare these two. 62, 80, 55. I don't know. Hennessy's actually just as good as Cushenberry. I mean, I haven't scouted him as much, though, so I don't know. The speed's a huge difference, but everything else is comparable at least. I actually like Hennessy more. Let's give him a little star action. Actually would take, let's keep them both a third. All right, so before I go into defense, let's now order my per round thing. So this is kind of the next, so the first cut is just assigning rounds to players, right? Second cut is, all right, now within your rounds, you just order by dragging and dropping so that you know, like so that the my rank is then updated. So the way I first cut, I would say let's go by my star ratings first. And let's make sure that's correct. All right. So these two, Young and Gladney, are my top two guys right now. Burrow third, Jonathan Taylor. I know I really liked him. Keep him there. Probably like that still. Let's move Burrow down. No, I would probably, well, Gladney. Yeah, I would take Burrow after him. Before Taylor. Okay, so that's all correct. Dobbins, that's correct. Johnson, I probably would put up above him. This linebacker, I probably would move above Dobbins. Based on need, I probably put him above him too. Jennings, that's a blitzer. He's in a good spot. Swift. Yeah. Henderson. I'll move Henderson up a couple. Probably above Dobbins too. There. So got those guys. And now that you look, now that I've updated, kind of did my drag and drop, it updates the my rank. So it no longer, like if you look at everybody, see my rank now is not the same as league rank, right? My rank is based on what I just did there. So that's kind of how this works, right? And then I go to second round and I say, all right, let's take a look at this. This is where things start to get a little sketchy for me. This guy, he was okay. Guy was okay. I think I liked him a little more. I think I liked him a little more. Definitely liked him more than both of those guys. And I need a guard. Andy has 100 potential. Let's move him up. Actually, you know what? He might be the top guy. Let's compare the two. You know what? He is the top guy. Nope. He's not the top guy. He is the top guy. Oh, this guy's way up here too. Right, I think he's right there. Freeze. And then, God, know what? I actually like Hinton more than Ruiz. Now, the problem is he's 0% scouted. I don't trust it. 0% scouted. I don't trust it. All right. So there's second round. Let's take a look at my third rounders. I think I really liked this Hennessy guy. I didn't like him that much. Cushberry. I did like him. Actually, he's moving up to the second. I'm moving him up. I actually do like him quite a bit. So back to the third. Who did I like in the third the most? So there's Hennessy, Jackson, Becton. These guys are all kind of the same. Becton, I think, is the lowest of them. And I think the other two are a toss-up. All right, so there's my third. Let's check the fourth. Cleveland. Damian Lewis. So our Lewis, I think, is going to be at the... He's got the potential, though. So I think it's going to go Breedson. Lewis, and then Cleveland, I think is what we're going to do. All right. I think that's probably enough for this. So far, so good. It seems like everything's working correctly. I got enough to at least get through a few rounds. And I think if we get to the fourth round, I can start winging it. All right. So there's that part. That part seems to be working pretty well. Back to my team. And then I say, let's start the draft. All right. So now we're in the draft. You can kind of see, right? All the doodads are working. Draft board's all set up. Let's look at the draft order. Where am I picking? I'm picking 20th. Okay. Those are all the picks I have. So let's close that. And I'm kind of nervous, actually. I don't know why I'm so nervous to start the draft. Let's just start. Let's start. There's nobody that I really want with the number one pick. So like, I'm not going to try to trade up yet. I am going to try to trade up at some point. But just right now, it's too rich. They're also not interested in trading this pick. You can see their interest in trading pick is 0. So that means I would have to way overpay to get this pick. So let's just have them pick. And who did they take? They took CeeDee Lamb. All right. Chicago's projected to take Chase Young. Now, if I were to trade up, this is probably a pick I would trade up in, but I didn't need defensive end that much. I actually was okay at DN, so I don't know that I want to mortgage my future to get this player. Plus, they're not interested in trading it, so I would have to way overpay. So I think I'm just going to let them roll and just see what happens. Yeah, they took Chase Young. Okay. I think if we get near my pick and I'd say one of those corners is available, I would think about jumping in. I don't know. Let's just see how this goes. All right. They're going to take a receiver. Obviously, that guy was by far the best player on the board. All right. Who's up next? Pittsburgh. They're projected to take that defensive tackle. They're starting to they're kind of interested in trading this pick, though. So here's one where I can move up to get Burrow. mean, you always got to look for a replacement for old Kirky Cousins. Let's just see. Let's see how much it would cost me. All right. It would cost me the 20th and a future first and a 5th and a 7th. I'm going to say no thank you to that. You guys can take who you're going to take. Who did they take? They took the defensive tackle, didn't they? Yeah. All right. Cincinnati. This doesn't look like they need a corner. They're projected to take the free safety. Now, this isn't supposed to be 100% accurate all the time. It's just near the top of the draft where the difference between the best player or the best fit and the next one below is just usually much bigger than it is in later rounds. This projection seems to be fairly accurate. I may need to do something to make it a little less accurate. I think it's almost too accurate right now. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the top few picks being projected accurately. I mean, that's kind of how it works in the real NFL. Actually, they don't want to trade this pick that much, which means they really wanted that guy. So I'm just going to let them draft him. Yep. Who's up? All right. So Miami looks like they want to take my running back that I like. But they're very interested in trading this pick. It's a little too high for me to trade up to get a running back, considering I already have one. And running backs, I mean, running backs are running backs, and mostly that's that guy was number 9 on my list. So I have guys significantly higher on my list that haven't been drafted yet. So I don't think it's time to be trading up. So let's just let them make their pick. All right, we're up to the 7th pick. Still a lot of my guys are still on the board, so let's just let them make that pick. All right. 8th. They're not interested in trading that pick, so I'm going to let them make that pick. I think I'm going to start looking to trade up now. I'm going to start looking at, all right, so they're interested in trading this pick. So we're going to get this. We're going to move up. We're going to try to get this pick. What would they want? Well, because I'm testing the draft, I don't want to trade a lot of my picks this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some picks next year. And let's just say next year's first and then just see what else they want. They want my number 20 in the 2nd round. I'm not willing to part with that. So what if I give them next year's 2nd round? So what they would want is next year's first, next year's 2nd, 2023 3rd, and a 2023 6th. Yeah, I could do that. Let's do it. All right, so we moved up to 9. And they project us to take Burrow, which was what I was going to do. I like Gladney here is is the number 1 player on my list, but he is 21st overall. And I think he could be there for a little while longer. So I'm actually going to take Burrow. We're going to take Burrow. All right. All right. So we got Burrow. All right. So now we're not going to trade up anymore. We're going to get to our pick. So I'm just going to quick draft first of all, let's just take a peek and make sure these screens are all working. So we should see, yep. So we saw I traded up to that pick. I picked Burrow. That's tracking correctly. So that's good. Let's double check my draft board to make sure that's looking good. So all my players, yep, first round players. Okay. So looks like this is still working. I thought the number one player on the number one player was Chase Young. Never mind. All right. So we might have a mismatch here. No, there's Gladney, number 2. All right. So the numbers are correct. I think they are. I might have to rewind that to double check. But anyway, it looks like it's working correctly. Oh, let's check this out. Drafted players. All right, you can see who's been taken by who. Yep, Chase Young was taken there. Dobbins was taken, and then Burrow's the guy that we care about. So, all right. So let's quick draft to my next pick and just let it go. All right. Now, this is amazing for us because Gladney's still there. That's who we wanted to take. Let's just check my board. Let's check my first rounders. All right, so we got 3 guys left that I gave a first round grade to. Not bad. Gladney. Who's that? Uchi? I don't know how to say that. And Jennings. Now I probably need the linebacker more than I need Gladney. So let's do this. I probably need the linebackers more. I mean, this guy's great. He's really good. But just for the sake of seeing, I still got 8 minutes left. Let's shop this pick. There's no interest in this pick, so I'm guessing it's not going to come back great. But let's just shop. Let's just see. These are terrible offers. These are terrible. No. I wanted to just move back a few spots. 2-9. That's way too far back. Yeah, there's nothing there. So I'm just going to use this pick. I think this guy's too good to pass up. Oh, that linebacker, though. I really do need a linebacker. He's just the blitzer, though. This is the guy I needed. He's not good enough to pass up on him. So we're going to take Gladney. All right. All right. Let's just pick a few, because if I can move, I don't have enough to move back up into the first round again. So let's just quick draft to my next pick. All right. So second round pick. Let's check my draft board. Don't have any first rounders. All those linemen, second round linemen, most of them are still there. So that's probably what I should be targeting. So all my guys with the second round grade. Oh, I guess I didn't have to go to my draft board. I could have just looked here. Yeah, they both went like 23 and 20, like right after I picked, both those linebackers went. All right, so only one offensive lineman has been taken. Well, first round, yeah. So I would be smart to take a lineman. Hunt was my top guy, I think. Yep, Hunt was one of my top guys. So I actually think, where is he? He's 102 though. He's way down there. So this is a trade down scenario. So let's shop this pick. Can I trade down in the second round? They want to give me picks next year, but I want to pick this year. So I can move down to the 26th pick. So 6 more slots. And pick up a 6th rounder. I'll take that. All right. So let's go quick to my next pick. 26th. Okay, so that came up accurately. Good. Let's look in my second rounders. Ooh, somebody got taken. I should grab Hunt. I know he's. This is a reach. This is a reach. I'm gonna trade back again. There's a lot of interest in this pick, so I'm gonna try to see if I can trade back. Get a few more picks. Yeah, see, these guys are a lot more interested this time. Well, Detroit's not that interested. They just want to give me just a later pick. You guys are idiots. So I get the 15 and a third. 8 and a 4th. First and the third round. So I wouldn't take this one. Too far back. Ooh, that's not bad. That's a little farther back than I wanted to go, though. Oh, I get another pick this year. 3-9 and 5-9. I kind of like that. No. 3-10, 5-10, and a 7th. No. 3-2 and a no. I want to stay. I like the idea of picking up multiple picks in this year. I kind of like 3-9 and 5-9. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let's just quick draft to my next pick. 3-9. Let's check my. Oh, he got drafted. Ah! Who picked him? Cushenberry's draft. There was a Ron on lineman. Okay, that sucks. There's my guy right there. Oh my God, it was the pick I traded. It was the pick I traded to them. They took my guy. I think at least it was the team I traded with. Oh my God. All right. So I have to get my lineman now. Let's just double check and see if there's any steals. Ayuk is still here. 2nd round talent. Ugh, not that interested in him. All right. Well, you can't trade back forever. So let's get our guy. I had him. Oh, I traded back too many times. I'm like kicking myself. All right, let's draft. Go to my next pick. My guard. My guard is still there. You know what? I'm just taking him. All right. All right, my pick. Let's just look at value right now. Well, first of all, let's look at my list. I only have fourth rounders left. Ugh. This guy any good? I did kind of like him. Let's put some stars on him just so I can keep track of him. All right, so let's look for value now. Let's look at my roster quick. Let's just see where we're at. So if I go to my depth chart, go to quarterback. All right, Joe Burrow is going to be my top guy. Oh, Kirky's going to have to back him up. Yeah, let's look at linemen. That's weird. Why is he listed as my top quarterback? Why is he? All right, so there's something I got to look at. Where are we at on time? 52, 115. Depth for rookie. Got something to look at. Let's check my guards. I gotta get Rudolph out of there. Yeah, the rookies are getting slotted in every position for some reason. That's interesting. Even though if you look at it, they're not actually slotted in. They just look like they are. Yeah, there we go. Something to fix. All right. But anyway, in my actual depth chart, I'm still horribly thin at tackle guard. And I didn't get a center, did I? No. I mean, I have a center, but I could have used some depth. All right. Oh, what do my corners look like with my rookie? Oh, did I not? No, I drafted him, didn't I? Yeah, Gladney. Well, he did get slotted correctly. But he didn't get. Yeah, there's something there I'm gonna have to figure out. Not bad though. Not bad. That cornerback team's looking okay. Out of there. Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Let's go back to the draft. So let's look for some steals. I mean, we are in the fourth round. So this is what the fourth round feels like. Let's check this running back out. Oh, that's right. He was just really fast, and I didn't like anything else about him. Yeah, I should draft Herbert too. Could I look for middle linebacker? This guy's fast. It's a blitzer. I'm not really looking for a blitzer out of middle linebacker. Hmm. It's like no special. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's because there's no kickers or punters hardly. Uh-oh. There we go. A little refresh issue there. Let's write that down. 55, 10, 14. Refresh issue. Okay. Yeah, there's no kickers or punters because of the import file I used. That's the problem with that. I might have to get that fixed. What else do I need? I do need linemen though. I had him as a 4th round. Let's just take him. Let's just take him. I mean, I have him on my board. I might as well take him. All right. 5th round. Number 9. Is that it? Oh, there's way more. Yeah, there's some refresh thing going on here. Let's see here. If I do this, then I go to all. Yeah, there's a refresh problem there. I do need a backup running back. I should be looking for backup running back. So let's go to running back. Let's check this guy out. This guy. This guy. No to you. No to you. So Bowden's okay. He's actually not bad. He's not bad. 4th round talent. It's a 5th round. I'm going to take him. I do only have one running back, so I need another. All right. So let's go to my next pick. All refresh. Yeah, that's weird. All right, so number 20. I am wondering. So what I'm thinking is, it feels like I should be able to, like, I kind of want to see more information. I kind of do and I kind of don't. Here's what I'm thinking. So what if I want to see, I want to know who's the best run defender left on the board. Now, in my previous games, I would have all the ratings across the top here, and you just click on run defending, and then it would sort from highest to lowest, and you just could pick the top one that way. Now, the problem is there was so many numbers on the screen in that system that it looked horrible and it made your eyes hurt and it was just a pain. It really kind of sucked, but it was really useful for doing that. I kind of miss that right now. I miss that ability. But I also don't want all those numbers on the screen. So there's got to be a happy medium somewhere. I'm wondering if it can be built into my draft board somehow. Like maybe on this view, the sorting view, right? When you're on all players, you can sort. Maybe on the sorting view, what if, well, see, here's the thing. If I if I show all of the rating, like all the ratings across here, then I get rid of like the ability to like put them into grades. I mean, you can see the ratings by opening them up. It's like the ratings, they're not that hard to see. But you lose the ability to sort by every rating. But again, I don't know. Is that just me being lazy? Or is that a feature I really need? Or is that something you do during the season when you're building your board a little bit? Because again, I built my board right before the draft from scratch. So like I didn't really use it the way you're supposed to use it. So maybe during the season you have like you do those kind of things. Yeah. If I'm all right. So thinking this through. During the season, the college players are going to be playing games, right? Because like they're going to be accruing stats. And you're going to in some way need to be able to see those stats. So you're going to sort by, let's just say, receiving yards. And you're going to be able to find the college leader in receiving yards. On that, whatever screen that is that you see the college leader in receiving yards, I'm probably going to want you to be able to tag that player in some way for your draft board. Because, right, if you say, like, who's the leading I need a receiver this college draft. Oh, hey, there's a guy that's going to be in the draft who's leading the league in receiving. I'm going to want to tag him on my draft board in some way. So it seems like during the season, there would already be built in a way to sort players. That doesn't necessarily have to happen right during the draft. Because it doesn't make sense to be sorting players during the draft because you should have done all of that prior to the draft. Yeah, I think I'm going to think about it some more, but that kind of makes sense. All right, let's get back to it. Now we're in the 5th round, so I'm looking for potential. Oh my God, here's a center with potential. Like, I don't know. This guy sucks probably. Take a look at him. He's a 7th round talent. Let's just tag him with a 4. Here's a guard. I did draft 2 guards already, though. Deion's is a tackle with 75 potential. Like, none of these guys are scouted, though. And then now we're getting... There's another center with decent potential. Let's give him like a 3. Tackle with some decent potential. These are all like 7th round talents, though. Ooh, there's a guy's at 40. Ugh. God, these guys are all garbage. My God, these guys are bad. All right. Maybe I should just get a punter. All right. That running back is still out there, though. Wait a minute. Who did I draft last? Oh, I drafted a running back already. I got 3 picks left. It's Deion. He actually doesn't look that bad. He's actually not bad. You know what? That Deion's not bad. I'm going to take him. Let's take him. This is why you prepare for the draft, right? You don't go in and just wing it. Because now I'm in the 5th round. I have no idea who to pick. I should have prepared more. All right. Let's look at my picks. And corner. Okay. I got 2 more picks. The guard or the center I had is gone. Check the sort by potential again. Let's see if there's anybody I've scouted. Let's start there. Hall. Oh, he's terrible. All right, so there's nobody I've scouted. Let's just roll the dice on somebody then. Is there anybody really strong with really good potential? Oh, this linebacker looks pretty, but did I get an outside linebacker? I didn't. I need one. Let's take him. I mean, he's terrible, but at least he's got potential. All right, let's quick draft to my pick. It's my last pick. Let's see who. Not obviously not much, right? 7th round, but it is. You know what? It's been actually kind of good for me to see what the talent level is at the, at every round. This feels good. This feels about right. The talent level going from 1st round, like at the top of the draft, all the way through to this is the end of the 7th round. This feels about what I was hoping for. So I think player generation is on point. I might as well just take this tackle because I did like him. What else am I going to do? Let's just look at speed real quick. You know what? Let's just see if there's an option quarterback out here. Okay, so there isn't. Here's an outside linebacker with some decent speed. God, he sucks though. McDonald? Nope, you suck. Okay, so there's not much going on here. Here's a middle linebacker. He's 24 though. Jeez. He's just a solid athletic guy. He can't really do much, but he's solidly athletic. Could this guy be a special teamer? Special team block? He actually could be a special teamer. Wait, what's his? Yeah, 73 special teams blocking. Well, you know, we're going to take a special teamer. All right. All right. So I don't need to finish the draft. Let's just see if it crashes. No, it just stops. Okay, good. Well, Detroit didn't get to make their last pick, but whatever. Let's check this depth chart thing again. What if I clear? Oh, those buttons don't even work. Okay, let's take a note. There we go. All right, so that didn't work. Let's try a few things just to see. Let's clear out the entire. Yeah, those buttons just aren't working for some reason. All right, whatever. We'll fix that. And I think that's it. Yeah, overall, I think that was a pretty big success. Let's stop sharing. No crashes, first of all, which is Like that's a huge deal considering how much I've been scrambling to get this thing put together. So no crashes. I got 3 major notes. Basically 2 of them on interface refresh issues. One, the rookie was showing in the depth chart in areas that he actually wasn't in the depth chart. That was a weird refresh issue. And then of course the list itself, I had to like click buttons to get it to refresh when I filtered by position. And then my depth chart, auto depth chart button and the clear depth chart button just clearly aren't hooked up or for some reason. But otherwise, everything looked pretty good. I think the process of setting up your draft board, it works as I designed it. I feel like it's missing something though. So I'm gonna have to think about it, probably watch some of that video back and just see if there's something else I can do with it. It works correctly. It works as I intended. It feels like you're missing something though. So that's like, maybe I can improve that. The draft itself works fine. Obviously I can like improve the environment and stuff like that. That'll all come. But overall the draft worked really well. Trading up worked really well. I liked that. Trading down worked pretty well. I think the shopping could be a little bit more interesting. Like the way it is right now, you contact all the teams and you get the little list of offers. I think the list is good. I think it's fair. I think the offers are fair. I think it could be more interesting looking though. I think I can show you more information. So like maybe I can redo that little section, the shopping section of that screen, give you a little more information. I think it could be helpful. What else? Talent looked good. The computer I thought was picking really well. Towards the end, I got a little lost as to who to pick, and I got to think if that's an issue with the interface or if it's just an issue because I didn't really spend any time analyzing the draft list and doing a real good draft board. Maybe if I would have spent more time on that, I wouldn't have been as lost at the end. But I was a little lost at the end, so I got to think about that a little bit. What do you do? I think it matters because like not everybody's going to do the draft board. A lot of people are just going to go into the draft cold. So if those people go into the draft cold, like I don't want them feeling lost at the end either. But like I also, hey, you skip part of the game, that's kind of on you. But I also don't want you to feel helpless. So I got to think if there's more I should do to give you more information. I mean, all the information's there. I could have looked through the profiles of anybody I was interested in. So like the information's there. I just chose not to use it. That's something to think about though. Something for me to think about. So anyway, overall success. I'm pretty happy with it. I will watch it back just to see if there's any other bugs I can find in there, but so far so good. I think it gives me the green light to keep moving. Which was kind of the whole point of this video. So anyway, see ya.